I built an AI-powered dashboard using Claude Make that can give you a graph in absolutely any style that you want, that is completely interactive, light mode, dark mode, can even predict what happens in the future. We have all the client's data for anything that we track it for. We can have a dynamic chat, AI-powered chat based on their data. So if they want to dive deeper into numbers, we can provide that. It's all powered by an automation in Make. Now, imagine if we could take the client experience from here to here. I know from firsthand when I hired like a PPC agency for my business, the reporting sucked, to be quite frank with you, and we're paying them really good money. I think the future now with these AI web apps is creating dynamic, visually engaging graphs and designs and data forms on either websites or reports that users can actually engage with. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can build any graph that you want or any interactive data thing that you want. I'm going to show you how you can actually make it interactive so it can predict and do cool things based on different kind of mathematical models. We can display all the data to a client like this automatically. We can have conversations about that data with our own AI, bot that knows everything about our business, that has access to all of our data. So if I said, hey, what was happening in July? What could we do differently? We can have those performance-led conversations. Now imagine if you're an agency or you want to sell this to an agency to reduce how much time are they spending every single week talking to clients? If we can enable them to self-serve, have conversations about it, get all the information in a great way, it's killer for those guys. Whether you want to sell this to businesses or your clients of your own that you want to basically create this for and do in your own dynamic set, we can do that. And I'm also going to show you how you create this whole thing that's on this website into a template that you can just literally duplicate and change for any brand that you want to. You just replace the logo, change the color scheme across the entire website, the colors, the graph, whatever you want. So you can scale it from this to this in pretty much no time. So I'd like to, if I may, start with a quick overview of how it actually works. So basically there's two scenarios in Make. One powers the AI powered chatbot and the second one powers basically a conversation. So what happens? Well, look, essentially what happens is, now here's a really cool thing about this. Whenever you load the website, it will automatically pull through the latest data. So and that's what I think is super cool. Now look, if I reload this, for example, what happens? The website loads up, it then pulls the data automatically from our CRM, which for the purposes of this, I built in Airtable, but it could be anything you want to. It's really straightforward to build this sort of stuff. Again, I'll show you exactly how to do that. Now look, it pulls all the data in, and this tracks, for example, subscribers, how many new sales they've got, and what the churn is. But you know what, guys? I've asked it, that churn, I'm not interested. Get that churn out of here. It will remove it automatically. And if I said that I'm not interested in sales, I can get rid of that. And it's just so interactive that I can see, and it just enables better conversations about the data. Because sometimes the numbers are great, but it's kind of like you want it to be visual. So you can add your own unique style, your own unique mark on this, and essentially the client can come down, have a look at different bits and pieces, see what's happening. Now, what happened when this launched, it fired off something called a bit of a webhook. So what happens in the background? Well, this scenario runs. Now this will be running automatically for you. And again, I'll show you how you build this step by step, but essentially whenever the website's loaded, this will pull the latest and greatest data from your CRM. And then let's say we go back to our website now, for example, over here, if I can scroll and find it. And I say, hey, hang on a sec. Hey, what was my churn in, I don't know, let's pick a month. Should we say like April? I say, hey, what was my churn in April? And the cool thing about this, guys, is you can actually load this with data about the client, about things that they've done. We can have different things. Hey, the churn in April was 92. So if I come up, for example, can I validate that was correct? April, month 4, 92. And it's also on the graph, as you can see right there, churn is 92. Now, why is this so cool? Because when we build this chatbot, this AI-powered chatbot, we can say, look, here are the principles I want you to talk about, give it all the data for every single unique client, all the stuff about your own particular website. So essentially, this becomes your AI-powered coach. Now, you could sell this to an agency as an add-on. Like, look, we will present all the data to the client. We'll give you an AI-powered coach. We'll build that for you. And it's like a complete no-brainer because everybody, guys, is working on spreadsheets, if that. Spreadsheets and crazy dark. So this is completely next level. And then we can add whatever bells and whistles we want. We can add Calendly appointments in there if we want to, different toggles. We can design it. And the cool thing is, this is, once you create it, you're done. Like, you're literally completely done. Now, I'll share all the code and blueprints and the automation from this. So all you ever have to do if you want to is basically come here, click on more, click on import blueprint, you select the file, click save, and then basically the whole automation will populate. And as always, all the prompts, blueprints, agents are available over in the School community. But if you don't know who I am, my YouTube channel and my School community are about 3 things. We're about the latest AI. We are about incredible automations. And most importantly, guys, we're about the stuff that actually works. So as always, if you haven't already, please grab that coffee and let's dive straight in. And a little side, by the way, at the moment, we've got a competition in my community about the Promptathon, over $1,000 in prizes. Come and check that out. Lots of cool stuff. And there's an onboarding call. Maybe we'll dive in that onboarding call in 30 minutes. We'll see how we're feeling. So I've shown you how it works. Now I'm going to show you step by step how you actually build that. Before that, briefly, what do you actually need, Jack, to run this really cool automation? Well, only really 3 things. The first thing you need is access to make.com, no-code automation builder. It's the cool thing that we're building on right now. You can get free usage up to like 1,000 actions and stuff. There's a link down below. I'll give you like a month free pro if you want to buy that just for coming from the channel. The second thing that we need in this instance is this Airtable CRM. So what is that about? As I always say, Google Sheet on steroids, hitting the gym, doing these trombolone sandwiches. It's like Google Sheets, but it's better, more configurable, really easy. Again, you can use that for free, up to like 1,000 records. So again, it's really easy to search. The other thing you're gonna need, guys, is access to something called card.co. Now guys, card.co, I talked about it in my last 2 videos, which, by the way, if you haven't seen those last 2 videos on building AI web apps, I'd strongly encourage you to grab that coffee, put it to one side, head over, watch that video, and I'll be waiting for you when you come back because I'll give you a lot of great foundational information about how you build these AI web apps to have you fly in this video. Cool, well, if you're back, welcome back. Now we'll continue with the video. So in Card, as I was saying, it's really cool, it's really handy. You can essentially buy, it's like 25 websites. Yeah, 25 sites for $49 a year. I was previous WordPress convert, but Card has brought me over to the dark side, literally, because it is in dark mode, and figuratively. So you can get 25 sites, $49. It's like $4 a month. It's ridiculous, absolutely insane. So we'll need that because we want a wrapper to put all our AI web apps in, and Card services that purpose perfectly. And then finally, guys, the only other thing that you're gonna need is access to Claude or ChatGPT. Because would you believe it, guys, all these web apps and stuff, it's just by Claude and ChatGPT and asking the right questions. Cool, so with that in mind, guys, let's get started and begin the automation. So the very first thing we need to do is this. We're gonna go to Card, get a blueprint, a template. Now look, let's say that we design the perfect template for your brand, your business, your agency, whatever you want to do. One of the cool things we can do in Card is come down here, we're gonna click on save, and can you see on the left it says save as template? If you save it as a template, essentially, we can reuse it again and again for any design that we want. So I click on save changes. This is now a template. So when I want to create a new, a new website, I'm able to do so because it's already templated, okay? So if I go over to card.com now, let's check out, choose a open dashboard. Maybe I want to go for new site, and let's go over now to my templates. And would you believe, guys, almost by magic, it has appeared there for us. So you can do this. Obviously, if you want to, you can actually just pick any of these pre-built sites that you like that fit your design and feel, but obviously it's super customizable, easy to do. So we're gonna go with the template I had here before. Now guys, this one's really cool. You know, the way Card works is you click, you upload images. It's super, super intuitive to add things. You click the plus and blah, blah, blah. So let's say in this example that we work with a paddleboard company. I say paddleboard because I've been paddleboarding a little bit these past couple of weeks, and when the sun shines, guys, it is cause for it. So I say, hey, paddleboarding, the Paddleboarding Co. All right, I think this name has potential. All right, cool. We'll just give it a random color. Let's go nice and blue since they're paddleboarding. Fantastic. And I've got this image here from Midjourney, which is really cool. Nice, beautiful paddleboarding thing for a Paddleboarding Co., which is fantastic. It's already coming together, so we can pre-specify these headlines. Obviously, if you want to add links, you click on X, then type in your link and straight to your particular website. So cool. So we've created the website now. You basically move things around. When you're happy with it, it is time to create the graph. Now, one of the best little hacks I found with this is feeding an image. So say, for example, I have this. What we're gonna do, guys, is we're gonna come here. Now look, you can specify, if you wish, any features that you want. And when I say that it's principally just limited to your imagination, I'm kind of not kidding. Like any feature that you want, any crazy thing that you want it to do, it can do. It can do confetti, it can have confetti in the background, it can do whatever you want. I quite like the predict next month part because it adds a bit of, you can get some mathematical modeling and say, look, I want you to create a formula for predicting future churn, future sales, and we can kind of model that out. So pretty much imagine anything. I just did this as for instance, to give you some inspiration. So we head over to Claude and we say, hey, Claude, I would like you to write HTML code for a website app that does the following. Okay, we come down. So number one is we basically say, look, the second that it is loaded. It makes a webhook call to this webhook address, and I'll add that in a second. Number 2, it populates 3 fields, and we're going to say that is churn. And obviously, if you go an SEO agency, PPC agency, just substitute this for the data types that you want. It doesn't even have to be this kind of graph. It could be a bar graph. It could be literally, you imagine whatever you want it to be. It could be anything you want to. I'm going to say for churn, for sales, and for subscribers. Oh, I should say, and month of the year. Awesome. Incredible. And then we're going to say, I guess the other thing we realistically want to add is say, I want it to look like this image, but go for a blue aqua theme. And then let's also say, you know, let's give it some other aspect of interactivity. Let's just make it random. Say, hey, add some really cool interactive elements to the design. All right. And then what I'm going to do, guys, we're then going to head over to make, like so. I'm going to delete all this stuff because we're building this one from scratch. And we're going to start by adding a web hook like so. Type in a webhook. Here we go, webhook built in, custom webhook. And then you'll see, guys, we'll add a new one and we'll call this one paddleboard co. By the way, if you've not paddleboarded, it's so fun. It's really, it's just good to get out in nature and have a rock and roll and a good time, I think, sometimes. And I'd highly recommend it. I'm going to do it this Thursday. There's a little bit of a smash the morning, get the coffee, get the good times, and then get some paddleboarding activities on the go, I think. We get this cool link then, okay? By the way, let me know down in the comments if you've been paddleboarding. I'm so curious. I don't know if it's just a UK thing, a Leeds thing. It's not big in Leeds, but I'm just curious to know. So we copy this clipboard. What do we do then? We head over back over to Claude, and we now give it the webhook address, all right? So let's go, boom, there we go. And then we say, okay, the other thing is, it must be in HTML, which I understand is looked down on by the coding community. So we don't know what big fans of HTML, actually. If you say you're a coder, you don't do HTML, apparently that's a slap on the wrist. They don't like that. They're like, get out of here. Cool, let's have a look. So with this guy, I have to love the code. Instead, I can offer to create a HTML structured CSS from layout using blue and aqua theme. This is, yeah, let's just say yes, okay. Okay, cool. Now we'll let Claude do the thing in the background for us. Okay, and then we get the artifact window open up, which is excellent. I'll take a sip of my beautiful coffee in the meantime. Cool, and guys, it's literally as simple as that. Now we're building AI web apps. Now I need you to understand this. The capability, the functionality, the strength, the error rate's gonna go down, but everything else is gonna go up over time. So by being able to wield and get used to creating apps in this feature, in this manner, is gonna be a huge advantage for you. Now, the capabilities that we've got and the integrations we've got are only gonna go up. So this is an incredible skill to learn right now, I think. And look, we've got the stuff, we've got the code, got the preview, we just copy it, okay? Then we go over to our website that we've got. Again, this is an example of the last one that we did, but let's head over to brand performance. We come over to code, what do? We delete what's in there already, and then we just push the code in, click done, and then we come over, we click save, and we need to give it a title, so let's call this paddleboarding co. Description, for a paddleboarding good time. Publish card URL, that's cool, and then let's just go for paddle. And then we open a new tab, let's see what we get, and we can see the brand performance. This is cool. So let's check if the data structure's been determined. Has it? Yes. Okay, that's really cool, it has. So what do we do now, guys? Well, we're gonna do a couple of things, right? Number one is we have our Airtable. So basically come over to Airtable. We can create a new app. So come down, start from scratch or whatever you like. And essentially we can just build in the different data sets that we want. So I've got some cool data here. For month, sales, churn, subscribers, and some random nodes. So I will add those in here. So we'll come here, there we go, let's expand it, perfect. But again, just kind of have these as whatever you want. So I said like, let's just change this one to month. Okay, that's cool. And then double click on notes, and then we'll say this one is, let's just say new or sales or subscribers. In fact, what do we call that last one? Yeah, sales, sweet. Beautiful. This one's gonna be churn, like so. Cool. And then this one here, guys, is subscribers. We'll put a nice little alarm bell for that. But it's single select, so let's just change that to long text, for example. Beautiful. And then we're going to call this one Paddleboard Co. with an aqua blue feel to it. And should we give a little paddleboard emoji as well for good measure? I think we should. I think that's important. Yeah, okay, sweet. Let's get the yellow one on there, the Simpsons emoji. Cool, and then we've got notes. And we've got notes, by the guys, is because we're also gonna use ChatGPT to analyze this in the next video, sorry, in the next automation, so it makes things a bazillion times easier. Incredible. Now, what do we do next? Well, essentially, we come back to the automation here, we click on this, and then we go for Airtable. I'm going for search records. Okay, sweet. Let's have a quick look. Click on the base. It's going to be paddleboard. Paddleboard Co. Excellent. Give that a sec. The table is table 1. We want month, we want sales, we want churn, we want subscribers, and we want the notes. In fact, you don't need the notes on this one, so don't worry about that for the moment. Limit is 10. I mean, like, based on how many fields you've got, if you've got 100, put 100, but I think we've only got 8, so it's fine. 10 is fine. And then we click OK, which is awesome. And then what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to right click on this one. We're going to run this module only, and we should see all of these numbers. But look, guys, would you believe it? They've come in a random order. Month 4, month 3, month 6. That's not good to us. We don't like that. So what we're going to do instead is we click on Airtable, and essentially what we're going to do is sort, click on add item, click on the field, and for us it's going to be the month, and the direction is going to be ascending, and then we click OK. So now we're going to get them in order so that it doesn't screw up the data for us. So click on add a new module. Now what we're going to do here, guys, is array aggregator. Now we need an array aggregator because essentially we're going to get all this data. I just want it in one output for the webhook, just to come over, grab it, and bounce, and not have to do a million different, a million different operations. So let's go for, we select the module, which is Airtable. In other words, this guy, all the things that we want, we've ticked, then we click OK. And then the only other thing we need to add is a text aggregator. The source module is the array aggregator. And then the text is come down to array, and I went to sales, month, sales, churn, subscribers. All right, now check this out. This is a little manual bit you're gonna need to do. So you do, we just say, hey, the month. We're gonna come down and we're gonna say sales. I'm gonna come down here and we're gonna say churn. And then we're gonna come down here and we're gonna say subscribers. All right. And then all you're going to do, guys, is simply 0, 0, 0, 0. Copy all of it, come down, and then just come down here and go 1, 1, 1, 1. And copy all of it again. Come down here and do 2. And essentially so on and so on and so forth until you've got all of them. Copy all of that. Then head over to a ChatGPT. And once you're in ChatGPT, just say, hey, complete this sequence. Oh my goodness, complete this to 10, and then ChatGPT will do that for us, which is excelente, and then we'll let that load up in the background. Then, guys, we're just going to come back, we're going to paste that into the module, and then we're going to be almost complete with the data grab, and that is literally as simple as it is. So let's have a look. Let's just link up for background. And the thing I love about this is whenever the client loads this website, and they're the only ones with the URL, they're going to get the most up-to-date, accurate data. So all you need to do is make sure Airtable's update. And there's like a billion automations that we can put into Airtable anyway. So essentially, there's no need anymore to create bespoke reporting or bespoke graphs because it's done automatically. No need any longer, guys, to create bespoke graphs. How cool is that? I think that's really cool. I think that's really, really cool. Look, get rid of this, paste it all in. Oh my goodness. Beautiful. And then finally, what am I going to do? Well, first of all, I'm going to do this. I'm going to unlink the first guy, and I'm going to run the whole module. Grab the lightning bolt, throw it on the Airtable, and just run the module. The reason I'm doing that is I can get the output now from the text aggregator. See, look at this, all this text string. Look, there we go. And what we need to do, guys, is come down and copy that. Then go back over to Claude and say, hey, the data input will be naked text in the blur format. Use this data to populate the table, the graph. Only use the data with a number next to it. Please provide the full HTML code. the data being sent, come down, enter, and then guys, we hit enter one more time, like so. And while that's loading, let's just give that a second to do one thing at one time. So essentially, this bit's going to be bespoke to what you want to do because your data structure will be different. Now, there's lots of things we can do in terms of JSON and getting different modules to do different things based on the complexity of what you're trying to do. But essentially, we're just saying, look, this is what we're going to be sending. What do you need? We can change what we send, and we can make it more standardized our side if we want to with a ChatGPT module or JSON, or we can be using Python. There's a billion things we can do. This is just a very, very simple thing you can do to get started. I'm going to copy the code. I'm going to go over to Paddleboard Co. One of the hottest, fastest growing paddleboarding brands the world has ever seen. Now we're back on the website. We click on this over here, come down to the code, delete the code, hit enter, click done, click save, click publish changes. Now, before we load up the page, let's just see if we can actually get this working. So reconnect the webhooks, and at the end of it, you're just going to put webhook, response, body 200, and then it's just going to be the output from the text aggregator. Click OK, and then click on run once. Which module's not set up? The initial webhook module. No way. I think it is set up. I think it's pulling out leg. That's running. Come back over here. Click on this, for example, and let's see what happens when it loads. And what happened, guys? No data got pulled through. So let's come back to see what happened. Did we get a 200 response? Yes, we did, which means it's sent across. So now we do, we come back to Claude and we say, hey, we got a 200 response, but no data came through to the web app. Please fix this and paste the full HTML code. Boom. Then we hit enter, and then Claude will ping us back the beautiful code. And once we got the code, guys, we just copy it and we repeat the process. Once again, we come back, we click on the code, we get rid of the previous stuff, enter the new stuff, click done, click save, click publish. And while that's publishing, just come back over to this guy, run this module in the background so it can catch what we're sending out. And then let's check out the new website, see how that looks. And voila, is this data accurate? Well, let's check, right? So on month 5, it says that we had 30 new sales. So let's check out. Apparently we did. The phone is definitely agreeing with it. Someone's saying, Jack, yeah, we got 5 sales. Let's go check it out. On our beautiful paddleboarding thing, it's month 5, 30 sales. Beautiful. So 2 improvements we need to make is to specify what the predict next month thing does, and then also just change month 5 to the actual month itself. But in essence, guys, we've actually now created the whole interactive aspect. So we've got it basically pulling now the data automatically on a website, on repeat, whenever we want, and that's completely done. And that would have been in any style you want, any colors you want, you name it, it's essentially done. The next thing that I personally like to add then is a hard-coded view of like the actual data and number itself, which is super easy to do. So we just clone this, and we don't even need to clone it actually, to be honest with you, but let's say we don't. That's our content plus. I come down to embed, okay? I drag the embed up underneath data. Now, what's the data? Well, basically, let's go over now to my dogs. We're getting peppy back. They're loving it. We come over here, share and sync. And all we're gonna do, guys, is embed this view like so. Opens a new tag, and you get this cool embed code. And we just copy the embed code. We come back over, click on this code bit here, come down to code, hit enter, click done, click save, publish changes, give this a sec to work in the background, whip this guy up on a new page, and we should see, if we scroll down here, the months and all the data from Airtable. So now the client can also see embedded in this website all the information they need in terms of sales and churn. So the only thing left to do now is to build out the interactive chatbot for the client that we have. So how do we do that? Well, would you believe it, guys? It's pretty much a very, very similar process. So the way the chatbot one works is really simple. Essentially, I'll show you right here what we've got on this guy, which is the new flow. It's the same thing. We get a webhook, we get the data from Airtable, we do the array aggregator, we do the text aggregator, we have our data brain, and then we send it straight back. And it is as simple as that. So let's build this one together. So look, we come over to our new and improved automation, and we're gonna call this one data chat paddleboard, like so. And again, guys, what are we with our formalities? Let's get our paddleboard and bro up there. Awesome. Now, start with webhook, custom webhook. Let's add a new webhook, and we'll call this one paddleboard chat. Click save. So here guys, we've got the first one, we've got the data, we click OK. One of the things we can do guys is come back to automation and we just copy these guys, come back over, paste them, click allow. And it is simple as that. We do the exact same thing. And we come here and we just connect it like so. And that should have all the individual stuff that we had before in the last one, month ascending, irregular tools, etc., etc. And then what we're gonna do here guys is select ChatGPT. We're gonna click on create a completion prompt. Awesome. Give us a second. Max tokens is going to be 0 and model is going to be GPT-4o system. And again, guys, here's where we can add loads of stuff about your business. So we could add an assistant in this part of the role if we want to. As I showed in the last video, you'll see basically we can add documents for your business, all the information, client docs, all the stuff you think is relevant. What I would recommend you do is for every client that you have is to create a unique document mega file that's structured in a very particular way that has all the information about their data, what they do. We can continue to update it with different automations so that each individual GPT for that client can be used in different places and just makes your life a lot easier. It's a really, really cool process and that's something I'd recommend everybody to have a look at. Role here, we're gonna go for user. So I'm gonna keep this one really simple, which is basically just we're gonna give it the information and then we've got to give it a prompt. So let me show you what prompt I'm gonna be using for this one. So look, essentially, we're going to be saying the following, okay? You are a highly knowledgeable and friendly chatbot named Data Expert, designed to help clients understand their business data and make their decisions. Again, I'll put the prompt down below in the description, you can just grab this and use it. You have access to all business data, including sales, churn, subscriber information. You also have access to any files a client may attach with you. That's if you want to do additional things like let the client attach files, images. That's something that we can also have a look at if we wish to. Then we give it prompts on how we want to greet the user, how we want to get to understand their needs. We can ask it to provide insights, recommendations, answer questions, encourage interactions, close a conversation, give it some examples. Then we give it the data, and then we also give it all of this, which is basically like the inputs for the messaging that we're going to have. So let's copy this information. Let's go back over now. So essentially what we're going to do, guys, is come down to message content. We're going to paste. All right, now look, I'm going to come down here. Now, the bits we need to change are simply the inputs, okay? So business data, as you can see, is going to be the input from the text aggregator module. And then we need to give it all the conversational stuff. So at this point, I need to pause this, okay? I need to add a new one in, which is going to be webhook response. 200, and the output is going to be the result from the last module, and click OK. Now look, now we need to actually build the AI for this chatbot. And in order to do that, basically we're going to come down here. We're basically going to redetermine the data structure. We are going to copy the address to the clipboard, and then we're going to head over to Claude. But what we're going to do with Claude, I think, is start a new chat window, okay? So I'm going to say to Claude this. I'm going to say, hey, I would like you to build a WhatsApp style chatbot that accomplishes the following. Okay, and then we basically give it a list. Number one is, essentially, user asks a question, application, basically sends question to this webhook, and I'm going to say application sends all messages in the chat as an array so that the AI can review the whole conversation. Okay, awesome. Number 4 is waiting animation whilst the webhook returns the response. And number 5, copy this design. Because you know what, guys, copying design is just sometimes a little bit easier than actually designing it ourselves. Let's just screenshot this, and then we can give it that. But obviously, for you guys, add whatever you want into this whole particular thing. There we go, copy this design, boom, enter. Oh, I should also say, and then we specify it must be in HTML. We've hit enter, and then it's going to build the app for us. Okay, cool. So let's build it in one moment. And again, we'll get the artifact windows come up and do this. And I think these are the kind of areas where you can really push the envelope to do something unique and different for clients. I mean, it's just a use case, but you can imagine, like, if you add the right data modeling, the mathematical modeling, interactivity, just something that helps them make better decisions. And it looks sexy. So it's just so easy to be like, dude, do you want to go with a company that's just going to send you like by pigeon mail? Or do you want to go with the fresh, new, up and coming hungry guys? So look, we've got the code, we copy the code. We come over now to our website, which is not this guy or this one. We come over to our paddleboarding website. Again, we go explore, which is essentially means chat with the data, but call it whatever you want. Click on embed, grab the embed, bring that underneath explore, click on the code bit, here's the code, hit enter, scroll down, click done, click save, click publish changes, and we give it a bit of a drum roll. It's done. Now, let's actually click OK. So we're gonna check this one out on the website. We're gonna come over to our cool thing here. Now this is waiting for a message. Then we load up the application for our beautiful paddleboarding car. We're gonna come down to the performance genie and then we're gonna ask it a question. So I'll say something like, hey, I don't know, something like, how's your day? Okay, boom, hit enter. That's not in the background. I'm sorry, I don't have information to answer that. So if I come back over now to our thing, has that picked up on the custom webhook? It hasn't. So if I click on redetermine data structure, I come back over again now and I said, hey, and then I'm gonna come back over here to our thing and it's not done anything yet. So all we do, guys, is we copy the rest of the clipboard. So then guys, we come back over to Claude and I can say, hey, please update the below HTML code to send a message to this webhook address. And then we'll just sort of say, send all messages in the chat as an array and update with the webhook response. And now just put webhook address and then we'll put code. Whoops. Oh my goodness. Delete everything, no way. So we'll come back to Claude, guys, and we'll just say, hey, we'll just say update this code to send all messages in the chat to this webhook address, send them as an array and update the chat with the response. And then we say webhook address is this, and then the code, we're just gonna simply enter this one in. And you can do a new chat window, could be the same chat window. Sometimes, guys, the chat windows get really, really long and it just blasts through all of the credits that you've got. So it's just sometimes worth thinking about when you open a new chat window. A little hack you can do sometimes is just quite simply to summarize. Just get it to simply summarize everything that's there and you'll find yourself saving quite a lot of time. So we've copied the code, we enter the code, we hit enter, and then Claude will then generate that for us in the background so we can pip and pop and have a good time and get this fixed. And now it's complete, guys. All we do is come down over to the code section. We're gonna copy, we're gonna head back over now to our website over here. We seem to have several copies. Let's just delete these guys, delete this guy, come down to explore, come down here, enter all, enter the code, click done, click save, click publish changes, give that a second to load. Excellent, okay, and then we're just gonna open this one up into a new tab like so. Awesome, come down, and where is our beautiful genie? He's there. All right, cool. So look, this is now waiting for data structure. So what we really do is we come back and we say, let's get rid of this guy. Hey, and let's see if this comes back and it's picked up, and it is successfully determined, which is excellent. And now it's complete, guys. All we do is we run the whole module like so, run once, awesome, and then we come back over, we'll refresh this page. Now we need to make sure that the message is there's a greater contrast because there's no contrast in the message yet. But if I said, hey, what is my churn in July? Hit send and see what comes back. Error communicating with the server. So if I come back, what do we see in the actual automation itself? Well, in the automation itself, how can I assist you with the business today? What information came through? Let's have a look. Bundle away. Hey, what was my churn in July? Okay, so basically, it's picked up the information, but what we need to do now is give that to ChatGPT. So look, we're gonna come down to ChatGPT because we never gave it the actual information. All right, so we come down like so, bring this over here, and no wonder it didn't work. We come down, messages, and then we just put content, okay? And again, all we're gonna do, guys, is the exact same thing. So come down, and then this is 1, and we come down, and then this is 2. And then, guys, we just continue to come down and repeat this all the way up to 80 if you want to, or just get ChatGPT to do it. I'm just doing a couple just as a for instance. Come down to 9, awesome, come down to 10. Amazing, click OK, perfect, come back, let's run this module once. as a for instance. Now let's reload the page back up and see if we can have that conversation. So we'll reload the whole thing. We've got the performance genie coming down. If I said, hey, what is my churn in July? Hit enter, and then we see what comes back off the back of that. Error communicating with the server. So let's see what happened in the actual process itself. Did it get the answer? Hey, your churn in July was 81. So the message is going out correctly. We just need to make sure it's received in a proper way. So let's go back to ChatGPT, to Claude, and we basically say, hey, it is all working perfectly, but change these two things. Number one, make the chat bubbles darker. I cannot see them. The web app is not picking up the response from the webhook for your context. It is a naked response that looks like this. And we just come back over to our module. We just simply copy this. And then we go back over to this and say, please provide full HTML code for me to copy and paste. Hit enter, boom. Then once we get that, guys, we make the final update. And one thing I briefly did as well on the page is I updated this. So we can hopefully predict the next month. Boom, done. How cool is that? It just boings up and just gives us different predictions, which is so flippin' cool. I'm really excited to see what you could do with this, by the way, and how you would create new interactive graphs. I've seen some really cool examples of like not 4D, but 3-dimensional aspects to it. So yeah, sky's the limit with this stuff, genuinely. But the data visualization thing is so untapped at the moment. I think it's such a huge opportunity. So I'm gonna come down, let's just see if this is the one that I want. It is cool. We just copy it finally, and then we come back over to our explore section, click on the embed, get rid of this code, hit enter, click done, click save, click publish changes, give that a second to load. Open up a new page. There we go, dun dun dun. We're gonna come down and we've got a performance genie one more time. So let's give this a run. We're gonna come to our performance genie and we're gonna say, hey, what's churn in July? Hit enter. We'll give it a second to come back and see what's running. Hello, in July, the churn rate was 81. Is there anything specific you'd like to know about this churn rate? Or do you need more details on how it affects your business? Feel free to ask. And it's as simple as that. Guys, I hope you see just the potential of this data visualization and client dashboard that can do so many things. Let me know down below what you're gonna do with this. In any case, have a wonderful week and I'll see you in the next video.